Hi. Okay, I want to share a couple of things that I did wrong. Uh, you know, a few weeks ago we had our company retreat, and this is the occasion for us to reflect on how we should do things differently. And one point that I stress is the importance of executing things correctly, because one feel incredibly smart in setting up a strategy, feel like it solve every possible problem, but in reality, then nothing happens unless you execute the strategy and do what you state you were going to do, right? So I made a big deal out of this. And then let's say that I sacrificed myself to make myself as an example of what not to do so that I can point it out to my colleague and to myself in the future. And two errors that I did were these. Uh, at some point, for 1 week, our project manager was out of office, and I was covering for her. She is amazingly brilliant, so of course she prepared some notes about the things that I were supposed to do, even if we have processes that we can refer to in these cases, but she prepared some perfectly well written notes that I had to follow. And the first day I skim this email very quickly while I feel super productive and I do three things at the same time, and I miss a very important piece, that certain updates that we used to send on Friday in the past were now being sent on Monday. And so I needed to send those updates that very same day. But of course, I missed that point, even if she mentioned Monday twice in the email. So you see, I cannot find a reasonable excuse to myself. Uh, so I later on during the week, I reread the email while I was preparing the updates to be sent on Friday, and I was preparing them on Thursday, feeling that I was working in advance and doing things properly. And I then realized that no, I was supposed to send the updates a few days earlier. And so, well, I prepared the updates. I said I was sorry to every single person that received the update late that week. And that was my first mistake. And then there was a potential client that reached out while we were at the company retreat, and I replied, you know what, I cannot answer right now because I need to focus on the company retreat. But by Wednesday next week, I will reply. And then I didn't. I didn't because I created a task in my task manager, but I wrote the task very quickly while I was doing something else. And believe it or not, I wrote it so poorly that on Wednesday, the week after, when I was reading the task, I didn't possibly realize what I was supposed to do on something like answer a message on LinkedIn. So I failed to send the material that that I promised I was going to send on Wednesday. And a few days later, I finally remember, despite my increasing age, some cell brains lighten up. And I remember what I was supposed to send, and I send the material immediately. I send the presentation, I sent a video. I excuse myself once more. It's becoming like an habit now. I can do that, very efficiently. So this is, of course, humbling, and this is a perfect example of what I do not want my colleagues to do, and I don't want myself to do, but I do because maybe in the moment I feel slightly more efficient doing a task more quickly than I was supposed to, with not the necessary care. But this is a reminder that taking care is an habit, and the moment that you start to sleep on small things, there is the risk that eventually you start sleeping on big things. And I think trust is gained by being extremely boring. My goal is to be the most boring and reliable person on earth. And if I tell you I'm going to send you an email on a Wednesday, I need to send it on a Wednesday or a Tuesday if I really want to have add some thrill in your life. And the moment that you lose track of these things, you should need to take it as a warning, correct it, be more humble, stop being an arrogant person that thinks to be that it's important to be busy thinking about 10 things at the same time, or not taking the time to take a proper note, because it's by doing this small mistake that you lead to poor results, to lose your reputation, and to lose the trust of people that believe in you. So we shouldn't do that. So I'm very sorry with the people that were involved, and I just hope that this is a lesson for myself, for my colleagues, and do as our project manager do, don't do as I do, apparently. And I will try to get better. So thank you. I hope this makes sense, and I will be looking forward to hearing your feedback as a comment here, as a comment by email, by a message on LinkedIn, or whatever you prefer. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and see you soon.